Fat loss is often treated as a simple subtraction problem, but the biological architecture functions more like an adaptive security protocol. The human body does not merely react to a deficit, it interprets the intent behind the signal. When resources vanish, the system functions like a sophisticated thermostat, recalibrating its output to match the perceived environment. The truth is that longer rarely translates to better because the organism prioritizes survival over aesthetics. The 24 to 36 hour mark serves as a metabolic border. Before this line, the body is in an optimization phase. Crossing this threshold often triggers a systemic emergency response. The primary sensor for this shift is a hormone called leptin. Within a single day of total restriction, circulating leptin levels can plummet by as much as 50%. This is the biological alarm bell. It notifies the brain that the fuel gauge is falling too rapidly and that the environment has become hostile. Once this alarm sounds, the system engages a battery saver mode. It is a metabolic throttling of bandwidth. To prevent a total shutdown, the organism dims its resting metabolic rate and aggressively reduces non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. The invisible movements, fidgeting, posture adjustments, and spontaneous pacing are throttled by over 25% to conserve the remaining supply. At this stage, the body is no longer releasing assets, it is hoarding them. The harder the pressure is applied through extended hunger, the more the system resists by slowing down every secondary process. If the restriction pushes past the 48-hour mark, the reallocation of resources becomes structural. The brain requires a constant supply of glucose, and when stored glycogen is exhausted, the system may begin to cannibalize its own hardware. It starts to dismantle muscle tissue to synthesize fuel for the central processor. This is like burning support beams to keep the furnace running. While the lights stay on, the structural integrity of the metabolic engine is compromised. The result is a lower metabolic baseline that makes future fat loss significantly more difficult. The scale frequently reinforces this systemic error by providing a false report. A rapid drop in weight can feel like a breakthrough, yet the data tells a different story. Roughly 70 to 80% of the weight lost during these windows is actually water. This is merely a temporary clearing of the system's cache memory, rather than a permanent deletion of fat files. Once fuel returns, the body immediately prioritizes refilling these buffers, leading to a rapid return of the weight. Sustainable fat loss is achieved through permission, not punishment. There are 4 levers used to grant this access. The first is the protein-focused refeed, signaling to the brain that the famine is over and the muscle infrastructure is safe. The second lever is the scheduled maintenance window. Incorporating diet breaks of 5 to 7 days can reset thyroid and leptin sensors. This informs the central processor that the environment is abundant, allowing the fat release protocol to resume without defensive friction. The third lever is the power of a stable rhythm. The biological algorithm values predictability over intensity. A steady 16 to 20-hour window consistently outperforms the chaotic shock of occasional 72-hour extremes for total fat loss. It is the steady signal that teaches the system it is safe to burn reserves daily. Finally, light movement during a fast serves as a manual override. Walking or stretching sends a command that the system is active, preventing the body from locking the fat vault in an attempt to save power. The metabolic sweet spot resides in a 16 to 24-hour window, allowing for maximum fat oxidation while keeping the threat level low. It avoids the defensive shutdowns and hardware cannibalization associated with extended hunger. Fat loss occurs when the system stops fighting itself and begins to cooperate. The vault opens only when the metabolic conditions are met and the alarm bells are silent.